So when I'm asked about pedestrian accidents in Florida, and in this instance, if someone asks me, Greg, my child was injured as a pedestrian, he or she was struck by a vehicle or a bicycle or some other motor vehicle involved, what are my rights in order to make sure that my child will receive the compensation they deserve? And more importantly, who's going to pay for their medical bills that we're already incurring, and because they're seeing doctors, maybe emergency room treatment and so forth? First and foremost, what I explain to that person is that under Florida law, a pedestrian that is struck by a motor vehicle is required to have their medical expenses paid by their own insurance company, their own auto insurance company, if they either own a motor vehicle or they're too young to own a motor vehicle, but they reside with a family member that owns a motor vehicle. And that's under the PIP coverage, personal injury protection, or no-fault coverage under that policy, that will pay $10,000 of medical care and treatment for that child's injuries at an 80% basis. And then the vehicle that the negligent driver that was driving that vehicle and the insurance company that insured that vehicle, they're going to have to pay that 20% that isn't covered under that first $10,000 and any amounts beyond that $10,000. So pedestrian accidents usually are very serious accidents. It's important to know that as a pedestrian in Florida, if you're struck by a motor vehicle, you have rights to pursue. You have an obligation to make sure that those bills are submitted to your own automobile insurance company on a primary basis. It's also very important to understand in that instance that if there's inadequate insurance, if the insurance is not available from the at-fault party that was driving the vehicle that struck your child in this example, that under your own uninsured motorist coverage under your automobile policy, or underinsured motorist coverage, what we call the coverage, you're entitled to seek compensation for those benefits as well. And so here at Perenich the Law Firm, we're here to answer your questions. If your child was injured as a pedestrian here in the state of Florida, we're here to help you through this process to make sure that your child receives all the full damages that they're entitled to for that injury.